Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live from downtown Minneapolis. The excitement of the NBA is on the way. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Doris Burke courtside. Next to me, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr in the booth. So Detroit will get the first possession. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Monroe and Drummond there inside. Reggie Jackson out there with Caldwell. Pope, and it's Butler in the 3 slot. And the Timberwolves with possession here. Levine kicks to Wiggins. Over to the wing. 5 on the clock. Payne's shot is good.
And he's on the board early. The first to strike there. Nice hoop. Andrew Wiggins, blessed with great athletic bloodlines. You know, his father was a former NBA player, and his mom was an Olympic sprinter, so make no mistake, great genes there.
Now, here is Martin. Here's Levine. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
And he shows us he knows how to finish with a flourish.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Knocks it loose. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Monroe kicks to Butler. Just 5 to shoot. In low to Martin. Takes it up with both hands and rips it down.
Boy, the kind of moments you love to see. Excellent defense leading to a dunk at the other end.
Clark, you got to marvel at the transition game when they've got it clicking. It's really explosive.
High octane for sure.
Oof. Yeah, turning defensive pressure into offensive opportunities. That's what it's all about. Still looking for that first bucket here to start the game.
I'll tell you what, the mid-range shot is not the easiest one to make, but when you've got daylight like he had there, I mean, those are shots you want to make.
Second shot opportunity. Payne can't hit. For Detroit, they've gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Left side, Butler. To the paint. It's tipped. Here's Wiggins. Detroit with the rebound. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Jackson setting the pick here for Monroe. Feeds it to Butler. Sinks it from just inside the baseline.
Now they finally connect with their 4th shot of the game.
Here's Levine. There's the feed to Wiggins. And the call will go against Caron Butler. That's his first foul. Here's Levine. In low to Martin. It's picked off.
You could see he had his eye out for that pass the whole way, anticipated, got himself in position, and made the steal.
Drummond passes to Jackson. Drummond with a screen on Martin. And he's going up for the alley-oop. And it's Drummond with the jam.
And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up Clark that beautiful alley-oop dunk.
Yeah, it was nice.
Just a gorgeous assist.
Detroit with the ball. The Pistons have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. You would think that a team like the Pistons, Clark, who struggled as they did, would have trouble with teams out west, but they really held their own.
You know, that was surprising. They weren't exactly taking the conference by storm, but they definitely were able to knock off a few of the powerhouses out there.
Hamilton with a screen on Jackson. They get it again. Hamilton kicks to Levine. The rebound by Caldwell Pope. Pistons have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Guys, a potent offense right now.
Yeah, Kevin, really the offense is flowing quite nicely right now.
Playing with a lot of confidence, just some self-assurance. I like what we're seeing.
Just 5 to shoot. And the dunk by Jackson. Savage, that's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely, those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
No good from Hamilton.
And to go back to what you said with the Pistons, they had a bad record against the West, but a lot of those games were close.
For a team like the Pistons that wasn't going to make a lot of noise last year in terms of competing, I think it's a good sign that they did have some tough games against some of the Western Conference opponents where they did compete at a playoff-type level.
And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
Yeah, he has to be frustrated by how his offense is flowing. And I can't blame him. You know, they're getting good looks out there, but the shots just aren't falling.
That can get into a team's head if it goes unchecked, continuing to miss good shots. So this timeout might be a way to combat that.
Timberwolves trail. Here's Levine. Hamilton with a screen on Jackson. No good, unable to end this run.
Good sets, good offensive sets are built on solid screens, and that was an example of how you don't want to set a pick.
And finished off by Martin. A free run to the hoop and some thunder on the finish.
Not exactly the way the D would have drawn that one up.
And when you got the space, hey, you might as well throw it down. That's what I always used to do.
Savage, that's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely, those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
Here's Levine. He dishes it to Wiggins. Off target at the rim.
This quarter has not been his best. The defense may be starting to affect him a little bit.
Reggie Jackson is really strong and athletic, an excellent driver and finisher, especially when working off the pick and roll.
Here's Levine after the made shot from Greg Monroe. Now Wiggins, quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. 6 to shoot. Tries a 3. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got 3 rebounds now in this one. And now the Pistons, fast break. Monroe, no good. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Here's Levine. Passes to Payne. Stolen by Monroe. Out in his own on the break. And slam dunk by Butler.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end. That's losing basketball.
And especially when you can't afford to give up any buckets, that pushes this lead up instead of going the other way.
Outside Jackson. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Fires for 3. Rebound Minnesota. 1:53 left in the first. Here's Levine looking to end the drought.
He's missing a lot of shots out here. Offensively, he just has not been able to produce in this quarter.
It's Jackson with the drive. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, the Wolves really came up short from where they wanted to be, and you've got to attribute it to the fact that they weren't as good at home as they needed to be.
And for the Wolves, they weren't bad at home by any means. They still ended up with 24 wins here.
Yeah, but they were hoping to be up in the 30s like most of the playoff teams were. You know, really it came down to them not playing the high-level defense they needed in order to get wins at home.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Hummel's checked in, and it's Budinger in for Martin. Pistons leading by 6. Now here's Jackson. 6 points for him. Williams sets a screen for Jackson. Hey guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Pistons?
And the points they're getting in the lane will really help them open up the floor.
You know, one other thing that's clear is how well they're burying their jump shots here in the early going.
Well, the Wolves didn't have a hard time scoring against any team. They took it to another level. It seemed always against the East.
Well, every time they played out of conference, it seemed like an up and down wild affair, and they were pretty good in those